wow, I can barely see anyone. During the spring of 2012, only 7 technology teachers graduated in Sweden for high school for the entire country. And by 2020, Sweden is estimating a lack of over 40,000 teachers. Now, this might come as a surprise to you, but the question I would like to ask is, why do I care about it? I mean, I don't even have kids myself. Well, I just happened to discover that teaching technology to kids is one of the most fun and rewarding things you can do. So why is it that no one wants to do it? And why is it that I'm the one standing here today and not someone else? Well, to be able to tell you that, I have to go back to my own childhood and tell you a story. After all, it is a TED Talk, and I've heard that's what you're supposed to do, so. So it's a November night, the winter in Sweden of 1995. I'm 9 years old, and I'm sitting on the floor in our living room fiddling around with this power outlet. Now, I don't know why I did that. It was a very, very stupid thing to do. But I was doing it, and when this electrical spark ignites in the air, goes from the outlet to my left hand and gives me this massive electrical shock, which really catches me off guard, and I'm kind of in shock by what just happened. So as a concerned 9-year-old, I go to my dad to assess the damage. Okay, and I go and I ask him, Dad, is there any chance of losing lots of IQ if you get electrocuted? My dad, you can imagine what he's thinking, what a weird kid. No, son, you should not worry about that. But I do worry, and it's not until now, 18 years later, that I fully understand why. You see, 2 years earlier, my mom had passed away in cancer, and as a lonely child living alone with my dad, I started taking school very, very seriously, kind of as a tool for survival, I guess, in the mind of a 7-year-old. But I only focused on the results and doing well on tests. And this has been a trend throughout my entire education. In fact, it even ended up killing my appreciation for learning something new just for the sake of learning, regardless of the extrinsic reward. So the fact is that this is the key, because it has been proven by numerous studies that if we praise kids for their effort rather than their intelligence, they will be much more inclined to try new things and take on new challenges. And I just can't help but ask myself, in today's crazy world of this accelerating technological change, what's more important, getting good grades or staying curious and creative? You know, at Kids Hack Day, we always say the future belongs to the curious. Well, implicitly, that makes us responsible for making sure that our kids stay that way. So Sarah, like any kid her age, is curious and creative. But she's also quite frustrated. Because the fact is that, of course, our educational model only works as long as people still want to become teachers, which is clearly not the case anymore, especially not in Sweden, and particularly for the subject technology. So this fact always keeps me getting back to this quote by Buckminster Fuller. I didn't put it up, I'm going to read it out loud. He said that if you want to change something, don't fight existing reality. Build a new model that makes the existing obsolete. Kind of a bold thing to say, especially when you talk about education. But what we can do is at least start imagining how such a model could look like. So I want you to imagine for a second a school where people from all ages come, even adults, come to bring their own expertise to the table and sharing their knowledge. People from all backgrounds doing things they love and are passionate about. And by the way, let's not call it a school. Okay? Let's call it, I don't know, highly engaging learning environment. Okay, kind of like here at TEDx, or TEDx Stockholm, where this picture was taken. Now for a second, I'd like you to imagine how traditional learning environments look like in most schools. Why is it that teachers have to teach alone and not together with their colleagues? And why do we force kids to passively sit down for 40 minutes and listen to their teachers and then be forced to move on to a different subject? And by the way, why 40 minutes? And why do we divide kids by how old they are? You know, like if that's the most important thing. And why do we grade kids by their shortcomings? Why not expect mastery from everyone and let everyone work at their own pace? And also, why are grades the only metric for a student's performance when grades often bear no resemblance to the kids' performance in the real world? Why not give them a platform to engage with the real world by showcasing their projects and skills in a personal portfolio, just like any creative would do when applying for a job? And by the way, who would you prefer to hire? Someone passionate about what they do with a project that showcases relevant skills, or someone like me that had to go through 5 years of university studies, mostly focused on rote memorization and theoretical knowledge with close to no connection to the real world, which is often the case when you're a university student. Oh, and I might appear crazy at times, and I can certainly pull off a few crazy faces every now and then, but I assure you, I am completely sane, because these are not even my opinions. They come from Salman Khan, founder of Khan Academy, Sugata Mitra, who's last year's TED Prize winner, who I met at TEDxActive, along with many other brilliant educational thinkers. All we are doing is putting these theories into practice. And when I say we, I mean all the hundreds of Kids Hack Day organizers that are also often TEDx organizers, in fact. This is a little secret, so keep it to yourself. That are pouring their energy and passion into hosting technology workshops for kids to inspire them, praise them for their effort, and give them tools to create their own future. All the way from Sahara Labs and Tisnit in Morocco, to Bogohack in Colombia, to Chambogo University in Uganda, to Nottingham, to ThinkSpace in Sydney, which is like a creative technology lab, to Stockholm, London, New York, Amsterdam, San Jose, San Francisco, and Vilnius. Yes, got that one. You see, educational reform needs to be a community effort. And Kids Hack Day is just one way to put a name and face to this inevitable revolution that we are all now a part of, so that we together can develop new educational methods for our kids. And so you've seen some pictures, but what are our kids actually doing during our events? Well, pictures are good, but video is better. So I'm gonna show you a little clip from some of our events at Hackerspaces in Stockholm and San Francisco.
What is Hackerspace?
A hackerspace, well, we're in a hackerspace. It's a physical space where people explore and do what they love.
Maggie.
I love that song.
My name is Zaina. The project I'm doing is trying to hook up these wires to make a Dance Revolution game on that computer.
The amount of tools to encourage kids to explore technology is growing all the time.
Right now I'm just prototyping.
Vi sätter ihop lite saker i en sån här makey. Jag slår på henne. Så kommer den här på glaset så att det låter. And this worked too.
Everybody should come here.
Okay. Thank you. So here's the thing. We're never going to fundamentally change the way a school operates. We're just going to do it after school hours, working with different after-school programs at hackerspaces, Fab Lab universities, science centers, and progressive schools all over the world. And by the way, why do we call them after-school programs? They should be the school program, because we're making learning the most fun and engaging thing there is. And just as you couldn't wait to get away from school to play that new computer game when you were a kid, our kids just can't wait to get away from school to come to our labs, to learn how to program, hack their toys, and make awesome stuff together with technology, each kid contributing with their particular skill and interest. Our educational system is collapsing. So let's build a new one, and let's do it together. You know, I was thinking about the theme for this year's TEDxVilnius, the future is ours. Well, actually, I believe it's not. It belongs to our kids. Thank you.